Simon, first up, what did you make of the news yesterday that 19 straight days of football might be possible?
Yeah, look, obviously it's a fair change from the 5 weeks that we were initially told, but I think what it does provide now, it provides certainty for what our season is going to look like, and clearly it's going to look like we're going to be away for a long period of time. But what it does do, it gives clubs and players and everyone a chance to plan around that now and to get settled and to embrace the opportunities that present within these next 10 or 11 weeks. So as a club, we're looking forward to it, but we have got some certainty and we can now plan around it.
What's been the player reaction to the news that it is going to be a significantly longer period than the 35 days that you initially thought it would be?
Our players have embraced it. We're really fortunate as a club. We brought up the families pretty early on, in our time away. So we're fortunate in that space. So a lot of our players are settled. And the next batch of people that will come up to our hub in Queensland, we'll get another bunch of families that will join us as well. So we're fortunate in that space. They have embraced it. I think they're just getting their heads around now the length of time that they'll be away. But we're here to perform and we're here to spend a lot of time together now. So we're looking forward to it.
When does the club plan to shift up to Queensland?
We're moving on Monday. So we play Sunday against Hawthorn, and then we'll move Monday and set up our hub in the Gold Coast from there.
How do you think the players will potentially? Right. How do you think the players will potentially cope with just the 4 days between games with that condensed fixture?
Yeah, look, it's something that we're not used to as an AFL industry, but our high performance manager Darren Burgess had a lot of influence in the soccer and had a lot of experience in compressed fixtures. So we'll lean on him a fair bit around what our training will look like and what our preparation will look like, and we're bringing our whole squad up, so we're going to rely on our whole squad. We think we run pretty deep in that space, so we'll use our playing list accordingly and make sure we prepare as best we can.
Tim, did you want to jump in with that question you had before? No? All right. We've asked from the playing perspective, Goody, what about the coaches with families? Because at the moment there's been a lot of talk around the players are struggling not being around families, but the coaches aren't that much older in a lot of cases, and they're having to do the same thing and a lot of the time not having their families with them. How are they coping?
I think, from a staff's perspective, it is difficult. We've got a lot of families back at home. They've got young children, homeschooling, and a lot of people are making a lot of sacrifice to make this industry work. And the coaches, the staff are certainly in that category. The sacrifice is enormous and the challenges will be there. And there's no doubt throughout this 10-week period there will be people that will have mixed emotions. They'll be dealing with a lot of things back at home, and and what we have said as a club is that we're open to whatever that scenario looks like. If there are people that need to go home at any stage for any reason, that is always there for that person to take. But at the moment our staff have embraced it. There'll be times when they will be able to get their families up and be around the hub as well, and we'll have to manage that. But there'll also be times where they won't have their family around, and we're open to what that looks like as well. But to our staff's credit, they've been amazing. They've jumped into it. We know it's not going to be without its challenges, but we also know that they're here for the right reasons and they want the club to do really well.
Is there extra pressure though on coaches, players, etc., knowing, I guess there's uncertainty still around how many coaching positions are going to be around next year, how many playing positions are going to be around per club each year? Is there pressure to push through these tough moments though, just for your own security in the future?
I think it's important for the whole industry. I think our industry needs our game to go on at the moment, and I think there's a lot of people right now working towards what that looks like and making sure the game can survive and can continue to move forward, and that requires a lot of sacrifice, and I don't think anyone knows what the future looks like just yet. But at the same time, people love the game. They want to be involved in it, and they'll do anything they can to keep the game going. So, hence why we're all here. We're all going to be away for an extended period of time, and there's a lot of people making sacrifices to make sure that happens.
On footy, Simon, can you expect to name Tom McDonald tonight? How's his sort of eye coming along?
He won't play. He saw an eye specialist, and it's just an area that you just don't mess around with. The eye's obviously a pretty important part of the body, but he won't play, so he'll have a week off. We just need to make sure that we don't do any further damage to that eye and make sure it's fully recovered. We'll look at our team, and we've got a little bit of time until Sunday to make those decisions. But Tom certainly won't be playing this week.
What are the options there, Goody? Obviously, we've seen Mitch Brown this year. We've seen Luke Jackson as well. Do you name both of them to give yourself, an extended time to make the call on which one of those you go with?
Yeah, we've got training today, both those guys will come into calculations. We had a look at the two tools last week, only for a quarter of the game until Tom went off the ground, but we certainly like the look of how it looks. So those two guys will certainly come into calculations. They're both in good form, and they're both, can offer something slightly different to each other. So we'll have a look at what that looks like today at training.
Really solid performance last week. Does that give you something to build on now for the rest of the season? The way you were able to gut it out against a pretty good young side?
Yeah, look, it does. I think belief's really important in the game, and our form hasn't been too bad in general, and we've been close to winning games. But to get over the line against Gold Coast last week was a big step forward for our group, and we know we're up against a really strong team in Hawthorn this week. But we have got some continuity. We've got a pretty healthy playing list, and we feel pretty confident with the way our game's shaping up. And as I said, Hawthorn are a side that's beaten some really good sides this year, and they're going to be coming out, and it's going to be a really good game of footy.
Just getting back to the fact that Tom McDonald won't play, can we get some extended thoughts on Sam Wiedemann? I thought he was really impressive last week, especially as the game wore on. And can you give us a background about where he's been, what he's had to work on to get back into the senior side?
Yeah, look, Sam was terrific for us last week. He kicked his 2 goals and he competed really strongly for us. And Sam's been working really hard in his aerial presence, being really consistent, not only in winning the ball, but halving contests and bringing it to ground for us. And I thought last week he did that to a really high level, and that's something we're looking forward, to Sam doing consistently for us. That's really why we drafted Sam. He's developed really strongly over a period of time, and now he's in the team. We want to make sure he stays there.
Is there room at all for Adam Tomlinson this week, or obviously going to make the one change with Tom, but do you look at bringing him back at all?
Look, he's certainly in the mix. He's very similar to Nathan Jones, Alex Neil-Bullen, who played some really good footy last weekend in a match simulation against the Swans. So, we've got some options there. As I said, we're really healthy at the moment. We're really fortunate to be in the position that we're in. So, we had a winning side last week. We thought we functioned quite well, but there's still room for improvement. So we'll look at all those guys at training today, and they'll certainly come into calculation.
Goody, how important is this Hawthorn game from, the perception of the club and rebounding from last year? Is it important? Is it any different to any other game? Gets you back to that 3-3, and people sort of see you as moving in the right direction? I know it's just a perception and you guys aren't too worried about the outside noise, but how important is it from that perspective, or not at all?
Oh, it's important for us as a footy club. It's been a long time since we've won multiple games in a row, and I think it's time that as a club we start building that winning culture and building some momentum into our season. It's been a pretty disjointed season for us. We haven't played many consecutive games. There's been long breaks and missed weeks and a whole range of different things. So this is a really important game for us to build momentum into our season and start to show people and change perception about where we are moving as a footy club and what we can achieve. And the players are well aware of that. They're well aware of the challenges that are ahead for us, and we've got a formidable opponent this week again, in Hawthorn.
Sorry if you got this one earlier, Simon, when I just dropped off. I was just curious. Obviously, they're working out the fixture at the moment. Have you had any advice on where that game with the Bombers slots in for you guys?
No, we've had no confirmation of where that game will fit. Clearly, we're going to be in a compressed season, and that will just compress things a little bit further for us. So, whatever that lobs, we'll take on that challenge. But we've got no idea where that lobs at the moment.